What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Atlantic Files, the number one podcast on the number one division in the NBA, brought to you by BasketballSocietyOnline.com and the Underdog Sports Podcast Network. As always, your host, Alex Fishbein, and I just want to let you guys know we are everywhere that you subscribe to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever it may be. We are on there. Also, here on YouTube, if you like these, make sure you drop a like below, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're going to be uploading all the time when podcasts come out. And we have tons of clips as well, so make sure you check those out too. I appreciate you guys as always. Hope you enjoy our conversation. So what's going on, everybody? We are here to talk about Caris LeVert. Now, as everyone knows by now, they have found a mass on his kidney, and they later found out that it turned out to be kidney cancer. So to talk about that today, I have the physician assistant, Deanna Bianchini, who works in oncology, an expert in the field. So we are here to talk a little bit about that today. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am great. So, my first question to you. They
hmm
found they say that they found this mass during his physical when he was traded to Indiana.
Right.
I'm sure you know all about it with your fantasy team having everyone in
Yes.
that trade on your team.
Yep. Of course.
um so I want to ask, is this something they normally look at during a physical for like normal everyday people, or is this something that's found a different way?
Yeah. So, I mean, many of us have had a physical exam before, and an MRI is usually not part of that. An MRI is a really expensive test that's done, usually if there's some symptoms. It's to look for something specific. So, my guess is maybe in the NBA, since you're paying these people millions of dollars, they do an MRI to make sure there's nothing else going on. But he could have had something, some symptoms going on, like blood in his urine, or he could have, had an abdominal mass or a mass in his back that they palpated on exam. So they, worked it up further and found this on MRI.
Okay, I got you. So, in other words, no, this isn't an everyday checkup that they would normally find.
Correct.
I got you. So, we've also heard a lot about how like this trade potentially could have saved his life. So what do they when do they normally find this kind of cancer, and when, and like how, for lack of a better term, like how lethal is it?
Okay, yeah. So he was officially diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma. So that's a specific type of kidney cancer.
Mhm.
And based on the information that we have, obviously we don't have all of his, his medical report or anything like that, but based on the information we have, we know he had surgery to remove his kidney called a nephrectomy, and that was curative, and he doesn't need any further treatment such as chemotherapy, immunotherapy, or radiation. So just based on that information, that tells us that it was localized. It had not spread anywhere. So you might have heard the terms, metastatic, that means spread.
Mhm.
It's the same, as stage 4 cancer. So that doesn't seem to be the case with him. It seems to be localized stage 1, 2, or 3. So usually what happens in renal cell carcinoma is most people are asymptomatic until it's spread. So that means, you go a while, you're feeling fine, you don't know anything's going on. And then, once you start having symptoms, that's usually, when it's become a little bit more serious. So, the fact that they were able to find it early on this MRI, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if this is a normal workup in an MBA, physical exam. But
Right.
since it's localized, that could be treated with a nephrectomy. Most likely, he wasn't having any symptoms. So, the fact that he got this MRI before it got worse, definitely could have saved his life. He was able to be treated with just a nephrectomy, like I said, and not needing any further treatment. So, that's a really good sign. It's a really good prognosis.
Right.
Um, yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, that's it's a blessing in disguise, this whole trade that happened.
Absolutely.
And so, like, when it comes to symptoms, is it like symptoms specifically with the kidney, or is it just like anything throughout the body since it does, you say, like spread at that point?
Yeah. So, specific like urinary symptoms such as blood in your urine or hematuria. Like I said, your kidneys are in your back. So you can have a mass that you can feel. Sometimes you can feel an abdominal mass. And then just, if it becomes metastatic or more spread instead of localized, you can get more systemic symptoms such as, weight loss, loss of appetite, things like that.
Okay, gotcha. So how long of a recovery is it normally? Is it like pretty short, or do you have to take a while and then ramp up as you get back?
Yeah. So obviously, it can be patient specific, but, usually in general, a total nephrectomy is performed laparoscopically, which means they don't have to completely open you up and, cut through all of the layers until they get to the kidney. So with laparoscopic surgery, your recovery is a lot quicker. Usually, for something like this, you could say about 6 weeks before you're able to start, more serious physical activity.
I gotcha. Okay. So at least it's not, something terrible where you have to go years before you can actually get back to your normal
Yeah,
self.
absolutely not.
Okay. So that's great. So, not to put you on the spot, but in terms of fantasy basketball, we'll get a little bit away from the medical side. In terms of fantasy basketball, um, for everyone out there who doesn't know, her and I are in the same league, and yes, she's also my girlfriend. Um, who do you think is going to win our league?
Oh, I don't know. Quinn is out there undefeated right now, so but right now it looks like Greg is beating him. So I don't know.
True.
You're the king of fantasy basketball, so but I hope you lose.
Oh, wow. The disrespect.
Someone has to bring you back down to earth a little bit.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But thank you for your time. I appreciate you joining me tonight
Yeah.
and teaching all of us in the basketball world a little bit about cancer, because I know plenty of us have no idea what's going on medical wise.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.